Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and on today's video we are talking about comments or statements that we often hear people saying, and we are here tonight to address those comments.
Not just saying, they repeat over and over and over and over again. Well, I think people tend to believe it because,
You keep hearing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you keep hearing something or somebody keeps saying something, you hear it so much that at the end of the day it becomes like it's a true statement.
right.
So we are here to address some of those comments. And we are going to start with the first one. And the first one is very, I don't know if it's say funny, because it's not funny. But when you hear it, it's like, sometimes like, I don't know what to say. You tell me your opinion. But this one is, how can Dominican afford some of the amenities that the country offers, making such a amount of money or salary, right? Let's say $280 or $300 per month. That's one that we keep hitting always, because obviously the country have a part. Aside of the country, they I think they are very expensive. Everybody can afford here, of course, like apartments, houses, restaurants, places to go, a lot of things, cars. So they are the same. How can Dominican afford that?
Yeah, because they come here and they go to some of these restaurants and they go to mainly they go to tourist areas. Of course, the price is going to be jacked up in tourist areas, but even though outside of tourist areas, things can still be, I wouldn't say pricey, but they can be, just pretty normal or average. Some restaurants where you walk out and your bill is, $75, $80, $90, and they want to know, well, how can Dominicans afford to eat at these places when the average Dominican only makes like $200 a month? And it's a simple answer to me. Not every Dominican is average. And that's not only the simple answer, it's a true answer.
I probably is the only answer.
Right.
Because not all make the same type of salary. Yeah, I can tell you that. I can tell, how to say, I would say honestly, because it's not honestly the word that I'm trying to say. I can say that when I was growing up, I never visited one of these fancy restaurants. As a matter of fact, I don't remember never eating in one of these restaurants. I don't remember never eating outside my house. I don't remember visiting any part of the island besides going from San Juan, which is where my parents are from, to here in Santo Domingo where we live. And basically because they couldn't afford. And that's the simple answer. We have part of the country that people can afford those things, but you have a big part of the country that can't afford all the things that we have here in Dominican Republic.
Right.
That is the simple answer.
Right, and I'm gonna be a little specific because I seen a comment where the person said 1/4 of the population is in poverty. So just trying to wonder how people can afford it. Well, if 1/4, based on their logic, if 1/4 of the country is in poverty, that means that 3/4 of the country isn't in poverty. So what does that mean?
That the others that are not in poverty they can afford, and that's why.
And my other thing is, why do you care? Why does people care so much about Dominicans and what they can afford? It really blows my mind that they continuously ask these questions. And it seems like they just want Dominicans to be this poor group of people that can't afford anything. That's the narrative that it sounds like to me, because it's like, well, how could they do that? How could they do that? Like, no matter what country you go to the poorest country in the world or the region, wherever, there are gonna be some rich people there. Period.
Mm-hmm. Every place have the good side and the bad side. And I was just thinking about that, what you say. I didn't think it that way. When people say that to me, it wasn't like, that don't make sense. Because some people can afford. Some people are not in poverty. Some people probably have rich parents. Some people here have money. But it is true, because you hear often people saying, oh, poor people, poor this. I know everybody's the story like that, like poor people, poor these.
It's just like in America, the average person makes about $40,000 a year, but you see all these luxury cars on the streets and all these these nice beautiful homes and things like that, and nobody ever say, well, how did all these people buy, how can people afford these Bentleys and these Ferraris and things like that when the average American makes only $40,000 a year? The reason for it is the same answer, because not everybody makes $40,000 a year. You have people that make more than that. The same with here in Dominican Republic. And I think I said this before. When you go in any of those restaurants, they all filled with Dominicans.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that too. Yeah. Even when you go, when you go to those restaurants, you say they can afford. Every time we go to the restaurant, it's full people. Mm-hmm. If we go to a slow, probably we got there early. By the time that we leave, that Brazilian restaurant that we went, it was just us. I said, oh, ain't nobody here. Then at the end of the day, we left just to allow some of the people who are sat waiting that they can sit down and eat. And you can tell, and we usually typically pay close attention to that because we want to know, and especially because I have a channel, we use often hear this comment, so you want to compare what people say to see if it is true, because I'm not saying that people experience what people say is always true, but you only want to put it in a microscope where you pay attention just to see if what they say is true. Mm-hmm. And every time that we are in the restaurant, majority of the people, I'm not saying that you don't want to see tourists, because you will see foreigners, because you can hear them speaking. You can tell, and we usually look and say, yeah, we can tell they are not foreigners. But majority of the time, they are Dominicans.
They're Dominican.
They are not foreigners. I mean, you can tell by the way they talk, the dress they are, they are Dominicans. And also about the same thing, like we say when we are in a building, or people that buy this apartment. No, about an apartment, when you say all these towers that are being made and they are $300,000, $350,000, $200,000, who is buying those apartments? A lot of them are Dominicans too. Mm-hmm. Some Dominicans living out of the country, some other because they have money.
Right. So a lot of the people who make these comments are typically people who only just visit here. They have no clue about how the country works. All you have to do is come to Santo Domingo, spend a little time, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. There are people here that can afford it.
They have some money.
And they got more than the money. And they got more money than the people who asking the questions.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this because I used to think the same thing. So I'm not gonna, act like when people ask these questions that it's they shouldn't ask them. I understand the curiosity because I used to think the same thing. But once you start living here and you see how things work, and you see the industry, you see the businesses, you see the financial district, you understand it's not what people think. Trust me, the economy is not generated on what goes on Pedro Casante. Trust me. It's not. It's not. I know people want to believe that everything that's happening on Pedro Casante is what happens in Dominican Republic, but it's not.
Okay, moving out of Pedro Casante, let's go to the next statement.
Now that what they do? You lost your words, man. I mean, but it's true, man. It's true. People think that they think that everything that they see on Pedro Casante is what drives Dominican Republic, drives the economy.
I mean, and
that's not true.
That they do that. Yeah. They just visiting that area and everything they compare to that, and then they say, well, poor people, poor women, poor this and poor that, when they haven't seen what it keep Dominican Republic moving. What is it that really, really goes on here in the country?
But I'll tell you this: they can take all them sandals off of Pedro Casante, all of them. And this country won't miss a beat in terms of how it moves. That people think that that's just like the driving force, and it's not, man. It's not. It's just now. Don't get me wrong. Maybe it may affect that little area, but it's not going to affect the economy as a whole. I mean, the government, this whole economy, that economy don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
just doesn't.
I do agree with that part.
Yeah, it don't care anything about that. They just let you guys have y'all little fun, but it doesn't. It's not the driving force of the economy here.
So we are going to go to the next statement or point, and it is Dominicans are nationalists. This is not. I hear that. How would you say numerous times?
Yeah, numerous.
Yeah, numerous times. And what do I have to say about Dominican being nationalist? It is like, okay, what I have to say. No, I'm gonna let you start. I follow you. Let me see what you have to say.
That statement to me is almost as, it sounds as if when people say, hey, I take care of my kids. Like, nigga, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's almost to that effect, like Dominicans are nationalists as if, what the hell else they supposed to be? You know, I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, let me finish. What are they supposed to be if they're not nationalists to their own country? What are they supposed to be? They supposed to be nationalists for China, Russia, Jamaica? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, Dominicans are nationalists. Americans are nationalists. I think the problem. I think the thing is that as and I'm just talking to black people. As you know, for black people, not speaking for black people, but I'm talking as a black man. You know, it's hard for a lot of us to consider America, you know, our actual home. So we don't feel that, even though we're born there, sometimes we don't even feel like we belong there based on how we are treated as a people. So it's hard for us to be nationalists. A lot of us to be nationalists because of that one thing. But if you ask the average white American, they nationalists. So I don't understand when you say Dominicans are nationalists. What's the problem with that? You know, just because they feel a certain connection, a certain pride for their own country, that's a problem. I mean, they go around, they hear one person say it, and they go around and say, Dominicans are national. I look at these comments, Dominicans are national, What are Chinese people? They not nationalists? What are Jamaicans? Jamaicans love Jamaicans. What are Haitians? Haitians love Haiti. All these people, Spaniards, they love Spain. Why is it a problem that Dominican Republic like Dominican Republic?
I was about to ask you the question because I don't even understand that. Well, what are nationalists?
To my understanding, it's a person that has a love and pride for their own country.
Oh, I'm a nationalist.
I mean,
because I don't understand the problem. If that's what it means, I don't understand the problem. You're supposed to. I mean, I understand something happens sometimes that you don't hate the place that you are from, but majority of people gonna love the place they are.
Right. I mean, that's just
so
natural.
what's wrong with that?
And they say it as if it's a curse word.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they want to keep calling us nationalists, yeah, I don't have a problem. I don't see what anybody else sees that's a problem. Probably the people that have a problem with their own place is a problem, but not for me.
Let's see what nationalist is. So we
okay, let's hear the definition. Because I thought when I hear it, sometimes when I hear it, most of the time I hear it and when people was talking about politics in United States. But I mean, I never pay attention to those things because okay.
A nationalist is a person who strongly identifies with their own nation and vigorously supports its interests, and especially to the exclusion and detriment of interests of other nations.
So what I want to know really, what is the problem with Dominican being nationalists? After we hear the description, honestly, I didn't ask that question to him now because I wanted to be funny or anything like that. I really don't pay attention to those things because those are terms that we don't use here. I don't know. And those terms probably I hear in the United States before when I was living over there, but I didn't pay no attention because, I mean, I was living there, but those things like politics and stuff doesn't interest me. So I was here, but I was just, okay, that was something that I heard. But when I started hearing that, he can say that I never asked him that before. I keep hearing, but say, okay, he's nationalist, this is nationalist. But I don't see any problem. So what we really want to know, what is the problem with Dominicans being nationals? I mean, what's wrong with that? Why is anybody being national from their own country?
Based on that definition, what is the reason for anybody to be a national, and even an American? You know, if you're an American and you love America and you're a nationalist, that's fine. I don't think nothing wrong with that. As long as you ain't jumping and scaling the Capitol, but...
Yeah, honestly, I don't see any problem.
Right.
But it looks like some people do have a problem with that term.
Right.
And talking about this subject, what prefer Dominican like, what it prefer, we're gonna jump to the next one. And this one, I know that you have heard it before, and it's the Dominican women prefer Dominican men. And I do want to start on this one. Because this one is very funny, but it followed the previous one very well. Because tell me, I just gonna ask one question. I shouldn't say nothing else after that. Just tell me any culture where their women or their female don't prefer their own culture.
As the first priority.
At the first priority, like, I like more my women than any other type of race. And then if it's an issue or whatever, then you jump and say, okay, I'm done with this. But as a nation, what they do prefer? So what are you as American, either black or white, preferring your own culture? Besides having problems, they wanted to go to other places. Why do Chinese people prefer? Why do Brazilian women prefer? Why Jamaican people prefer? Either, I mean, women, we're talking about women in this case, but both. What any other culture prefer? Not just Dominican, but what do they prefer? What do they most marry in their culture? To their own culture or other culture? Why Chinese? I say Chinese people, Vietnamese, Chinese, any other culture. Just tell me which one marry more to a different race than they own people.
Or prefer, yeah.
Or prefer,
you know,
whatever you want to take, either one.
It's absurd. It's
And
absurd
it's just
because you can look at, I mean, you could do a poll in America where there's a poll where it says black women prefer to marry black men over any other race or any other culture. I mean, I don't even have to read a poll. It's just obvious that the culture that you grew up in, live most of your life in, as a group, as a whole, we're not talking about individuals, we're not talking about anecdotal experiences, we're talking about as a whole, that group of women or group of men prefer their own culture. Find some poll and prove us wrong, because I know we're not wrong on that. It's almost understood, maybe understood is not the word, but it's almost understood that you're going to be attracted to what you grew up around.
That's
Period.
natural.
That's natural.
No, that's natural. That's what you have around. Besides, when you are born, if you are born in your own country, unless then you was born in another culture and then you married that other culture, that's fine, because that's what you saw around. That's the people that you was familiar with. But if you're born in your own country, that's what you see around your mom and your dad, your kid, your family members, and then that's what you see. That's what you gonna marry. That's what you gonna love, because that's what you know. That's what you know. That's what you're used to. That's the people that are. They know what you know. You are familiar. So that's what you gonna want. You won't want. You don't want to be. I don't know anybody that by first want to learn some other thing. Want to learn another culture. Want to learn another how these women or that men are. You usually go different because probably you are attracted to somebody or you like that person. You are willing to accept and learn different things. Or you have a problem with this, you along with your culture, you are open to do that. But if you have any problem, if that's what you like, you would prefer that, because you don't have to learn nothing new. You don't have to learn how the culture are. You don't have to learn another language. You don't have to learn another food. Nothing. That's natural. That's what you already know.
And having said that, you have a segment or anecdotal situations where, you know, women are open in all cultures that would be open to date out. So this notion that Dominican women only prefer Dominican men, as a whole, you're probably correct, but within that whole, you have a large group that are open to date. When we were in Punta Cana this weekend, you could see the mixed couples that were in Punta Cana of guys and ladies. You mean Dominican men with foreigners, Dominican foreign men with Dominican women? You could see it. You
And
know what I'm
different
saying?
cultures, not
and different
just
cultures,
one
not just
culture,
black
you
or white,
say.
right?
Black and white, you can see even
Asians.
Asian looking people, because I don't know if they were Asian, like even Central American looking people. I saw like guys that look like Mexicans.
Right.
So you have different mix of races over there.
So again, you guys hear this statement and then you just run with it over and over. You repeat it, you repeat it, and repeat it. And it's just not 100% true. It's not 100% true. So I recommend find some new information.
My favorite word. Just listen to things and put it in your own perspective.
Right.
Did I say perspective? Well, princesa?
No.
How'd you say perspective?
Perspective. Perspective.
That's a co-producer. Perspective. I'm gonna put it on I put it on your own perspective. So now let's go to our last point, I think, for tonight. And that is the majority of people believe that the major source of our revenue or income, that, let's put it that way, that the country receives, it is tourism. And I will not lie, tourism is a very, very important and big sector here in Dominican Republic. We all know that because we see it. We see how many people come over here, but it's not the main one. Yeah, and I think the people are very confused with that one, thinking that's the main one, and it's not. It is part of a sector that is big here, which is what is the sector called? Service. Yeah, the services sector is the big one here. In one of these, they form the part of the service sector is tourism.
We've heard people in the past say, oh, if it wasn't for tourism, Dominicans wouldn't be, they would be this. If it wasn't for tourism, it'd be that. And like she said, tourism is an important part of the economy here, but it's not the biggest. So they have three main sectors here, and it's agriculture, it's industry, and it's services. And so agriculture is around about maybe about 7%, somewhere in there, 7%, 7 to 8% of the total income, revenue of the GDP. And industry is about 33%, somewhere in there. And services is about 54, somewhere in there, 54%, a little bit over half. Because services include trade, finance, government, business, and tourism. So I think it's 4 or 5 that's in services, but of that 50-something%, only 12 to 15% of it is tourism. So not saying that, that it's not important, but for people to think that that's the only way that Dominican Republic is making money, that's just not true. Now, I'm like you. I don't want nobody to take 15% of my income, because if they take 15% of my income, I may not be hurt. I may not be hurt. I may not be destitute, but I
won't be destitute, but you will be hurt.
I'm gonna feel it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you feel it, you hurt.
Well,
you
have to make some adjustments. You know what I'm saying? But again, tourism is a big piece, and the reason is because tourism, it brings people in. When you're talking about other industries like agriculture, it's not bringing people in. What it's doing, it's agriculture, they're exporting it out. But tourism brings people in, so that's what makes it more important.
Yeah, that's what more visible for people to see, I guess, because you ain't seeing the product going out every night. I mean, when you eat in the avocado that they have in Florida, say Dominican Republic, and then bananas, being exported, but yeah.
It's more of an import industry because you're bringing people in. So yeah, it is important. We're not downplaying.
Yeah, it is important. Yeah,
we're not downplaying saying like they don't
sector.
need it, because of course they need it. For their economy to continue to grow is a very important piece of it. But don't act like they need just you to just jump off the plane in order for them to be successful. That person who made that comment, they don't actually need you to get off the plane. They need some people to get off the plane. If you decide you won't get off the plane, then you can stay your ass on the plane.
I said we just want to address this because we usually there's something that you hear people saying, and that is I don't know if people don't do the research when they make
don't.
they make the type of comment, and then we see comments like that. We say, yeah, this look like, and then when you see it very often, then it makes you say, okay, it's a lot of people or they are getting misled, or they really, really, really believe something that is not true. That's why we want to bring those topics.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Well, not can I say something. Of course I can say something. But to me, I think Dominican Republic is the most criticized tourist destination that I've ever seen. I don't hear people talk about the Bahamas like this. I don't hear people talk about Jamaica, Costa Rica, Cancun. I don't hear nobody saying that the women in Cancun prefer Cancun men. I ain't heard nobody say Cancun, the Mexicans are nationalists. I just ain't never heard any of that. I just wonder why people are so critical of this country, man. It just blows my mind.
I don't know, and that is very funny because I don't understand it either. We are an island, we are here, and then I see people that visit other countries, either they island or not, but they usually don't get the type of criticism that we get. That is true. I don't know what's the reason. I don't know if because we look black, but we say I'm not black, I'm Dominican. I think that's the problem. And for those reasons, everything else just follow apart. Like
Right.
everything that we say or do, it is something for some people.
They put it
catch
under
attention
microscope.
and then
Yep.
say things that don't even make sense. I think that's everything comes from that. But I don't see no reason because we are a country just like any other country. They have their own thing, their own life. We are our own culture. We are very proud to be Dominican. We just do our own thing here, but for some reason, certain things that we do are being called out like we are certain type this image about us that I don't understand it. But that is for some people. I know that everybody thinks like that. So
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Not everybody thinks like that, but these YouTubers who make these videos, they put that out there as if, the country is just this one-sided way.
I think they're jealous.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Somebody hurt them. Don't hurt me, or I'm gonna be doing make my own goddamn
You're
video.
gonna be doing a video about
Yeah.
what you could be saying about Dominican.
Man,
How are you gonna be talking? But remember, all these videos about here talking good about Dominican, then you can change and then say now you heard it, and now you heard.
I'm gonna change in a heartbeat, man.
Now
Hey,
you
man.
heard, and now you say that they are nationally,
Yeah.
they prefer Dominican men.
I'ma start to say that too, man.
They hate black people.
Right. I'm gonna say all that. I'm gonna say all that.
Well, that's a good thing that is on this video right here. That way you can remember. There is no, and then you are the one that's gonna be here because they say, oh, you were saying all that because you were with somebody over there. Now that you in there, they heard you. Now you're saying all that.
Yeah, and trust me, they waiting on that anyway. They want that to happen, cause they think y'all prefer Dominican men. So, hey, it is what it is.
I mean, it can be any other reason, but people usually prefer. That is the reason because they prefer this. Oh, I knew that, and that's the first thing they're gonna say. I knew that. How you gonna know that? How did you gonna know that? You don't know nothing. I mean, we have been here for 15 years together.
Right.
How you say that you knew that?
Right. They don't. They don't.
Exactly. Well, yeah, but those are the points that we want to bring up tonight. If you go have any opinion, at least make it to be your own opinion
Exactly.
or something, or what
Exactly.
you see, or what you know, or what you already investigate. And nowadays it's very easy. Just Google anything, you will find most of the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if you're striving to, live a certain way in Dominican Republic, what I recommend you do is follow and listen to the people who lifestyle aligns closely with what you're looking for. If that's not what you're looking, if our lifestyle and what we do doesn't align with you and somebody else fits your profile, then that's fine too. But if you're looking for a certain lifestyle, listen to the people who are actually living the life that's kind of
That
close
you're
in line.
picturing to live.
Yeah, right. Everything else, man, is just garbage. All right.
before we go, what is it that you put in? Because you prepared this for me. What is this?
Sangria.
Oh, that's what I like it so much. You don't have the fruit. I say, I keep drinking and keep drinking. I say, but what is this?
That's a cheap version too, but it's
But
good.
I like it, yeah.
She a cheap date, y'all.
Yes, I like simple things. So guys, this is what we have for tonight. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share. And we will see you in my next one, or our next one. Bye.
Peace.